Okay.
And say hello, everybody. This is Joe Maldonado, and this is our segment of coffee and tea. And today I am with Carolyn Wilson. Carolyn, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. And I want to thank everyone who is joining us today. It's makes me happy. It makes the angels happy. And
Yes.
I was just in the shower and was getting things clairaudiently. Very happy, lots of excitement and joy. And it's very moving, actually, because I normally don't get that when I'm in the shower. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So,
Well, a lot of things happen when you're in a shower. People
yes.
get clean, there's singing involved sometimes. So the showers are a very kind of moving kind of experience. And I'm going to ask everybody that's on the call if you can go ahead and mute yourself and then turn your video off also. This is being recorded with Carolyn and I, and we will be talking about just lovely, lovely angel things. I put out a newsletter today, and in so doing, I actually again, the angels have been, kind of interacting with me also. There's so many, oh my gosh, experiences that I personally have had with angels. And Carolyn, I know this happens to you all the time. So if you can go ahead and share some of that, well, okay, let's just start it. Okay, we're gonna talk about Archangel Raphael because that's who you're
Right,
teaching on Saturday. So, who is
right.
Archangel Raphael? Let's start that.
So, Archangel Raphael is one of the three angels mentioned in the Bible. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel are the three mentioned in the Bible. But there are seven archangels who stand before the throne of God.
Okay.
And the archangels are the eighth choir of angels in the nine choirs of angels of
Okay.
the Christ consciousness.
So what is a choir of angels?
So there are nine different groups of angels. They all have different roles.
Okay.
The top three adore God,
Okay.
creator, source.
Okay.
The second choir of angels or next group of or the three do things like work with things going on in the world. And
Uh-huh.
then the other three, the bottom three, I hate to call them the bottom three, or the last three choirs, are interacting with people on the planet. They are the eyes and ears, hands of God. They come and they intervene, etc.
Okay.
So Raphael is the great healer.
Yes.
He is able to heal not just mental and physical issues, spiritual issues,
Mm-hmm.
karmic issues.
Mm-hmm.
He is amazing. He can help you find lost pets.
Really?
He is the patron saint of many different groups.
Now, if I could
Um,
interrupt and ask you a question, because I know
yeah.
Saint Anthony has always been my go-to for lost items. So
Yes.
Archangel Raphael is specifically known for lost pets. Is that right?
Well, that's one of the things
Right, right,
you
right,
can
right,
call upon him for.
right,
Yes.
right.
So St. Anthony is more lost objects,
Okay.
and then Raphael is lost pets.
Pets.
But you
Okay.
can call both of them in. You can
Of
call
course.
St. Anthony in, you can call Raphael in. They all work together for the greater good.
Right.
Raphael is the patron saint of travelers, of anyone in the medical profession,
Okay.
students who wish to be in the medical profession,
Right.
of marriage, of Catholic studies, of happy meetings, of abundance, creativity. The list goes on. There's so
Wow.
many things that you can call upon Raphael, Archangel Raphael.
Right.
He's called Saint Raphael, the Archangel, to be more formal, but you can call on him anytime you need to. And you don't need formal prayers, but I will have some.
Okay.
Everything is about intention. Everything is about speaking from your heart. Call
I
him in once or three times. Go ahead.
Oh no, so I was just going to ask you about three times because I believe I've
Hmm.
heard you mention that. Why three?
Mhm.
Why three times?
When I mention a an archangel once,
Mm.
I work with them so much and I have so much faith in them. I know they're there, but when I call them in 3 times, whew, I really feel it. I feel like all the hairs on my body stand on end.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really powerful stuff. That's really powerful. Um,
Mhm.
I know personally, and I have, because I have a few medical issues that, I kind of grapple with and I'm challenged with, but I have called upon him so many times. And I've got to, this is like a very odd little story, but um, when COVID came last year, I used to go for cranial
Mhm.
sacral work with a woman that is phenomenal with energy work, and she would move things around. And it was really more cranial sacral than massage or anything. But boy, could I feel things being removed. And I think you know who I'm speaking of, right? Carolyn, we both
Yes.
went to her. Um,
Yes.
and so unfortunately, then COVID came, and we kind of, I said, okay, I'm not going out. My husband and I stay in. But
Mhm.
then I made this. It's like a prayerful kind of deal with Archangel Raphael, and I said,
Mhm.
okay, since I cannot leave the house, can you please show me if I can do this on my own, this cranial sacral? And it was just like it was a heart to his energetic presence connection that happened. And I got to tell you, every time I am in pain or something locks up on me and I say his
Mhm.
name and he knows, or she knows, the intention, is to kind of ease that area of my body. It just flows and it melts. And I'm like, wow. So I am doing cranial sacral on my own, actually, but not on
I
my
love
own
it.
with Archangel Raphael. And this has been
Yeah.
going on now since last year. And it's literally, but I don't misuse my relationship. It is literally every time, I have an ache or a pain, or I have an area like a
Mhm.
shoulder that's frozen. Boom, it happens just like that. And I feel so much better. So I
How
never
beautiful.
shared that story, but it's just, I think, when you develop a connection and a rapport with Archangel Raphael or any of the archangels, stuff just begins to happen, with them.
It
Um,
absolutely does.
can you share any instances like that have happened with you and Archangel Raphael?
I've had so many times, Joe, where I've had, and fortunately I haven't had them recently, horrible migraines,
Mm,
horrible menstrual cramps, back pain, just feeling so much stress in my old job.
mm,
The list goes on.
yeah.
And I will call him in and I will visualize his gorgeous emerald healing light coming down from the heavens into
Mm-hmm,
my crown chakra.
mm-hmm,
And then I will also imagine it enveloping me.
mm-hmm,
And I will also imagine being in his wings, wrapped in his wings.
mm-hmm.
And it's so moving to be able to do that, to have that connection, that relationship. And this is something that everyone can have
Yes.
because we were not sent here to be tortured, to live lives of desperation. Creator wants us to be happy and healthy and successful.
Mm-hmm.
He, they don't want us to make our lives harder by bad decisions and poor diet and things like that.
Right.
So anyone can do this. It's not just me. It's not just you.
Yeah.
Um, and Raphael will either heal someone who calls upon him, prays to him, or will guide the person to what is the best thing they should be doing or taking, guiding them. You can ask Archangel Raphael, please guide me to the right practitioner,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
holistic practitioner.
Yes. And I've also, and I think I remember talking to you about it, is when you find the right practitioner, the right physician to assist you or to help you,
Hmm.
then you kind of call upon Archangel Raphael to guide that person, you know,
Absolutely.
whether it's a surgery, a procedure, tests, diagnosing a correct issue medical issue that you may have. I think, the lists are just, they're endless of the things that you can ask upon him. Do you believe, I mean, you are just such a special person, you live and breathe this world, and I'm so honored to have you, teach for our school. But do you believe the archangels have a specific mission for you, or for them, through you? I mean, I keep hearing the word mission.
It's interesting you say that or ask that, because I grew up, my mother's Eastern Orthodox, dad is Catholic.
Hmm.
I saw my parents pray all the time. And what I loved about that was they were not full of themselves. They didn't judge people. They set a great example of how to be with other people, even if you don't agree with something they say or do.
Right.
So I would go to different churches with them.
Mm.
I would see all these beautiful icons, and I would just feel this special feeling in my heart. So I grew up having this love of churches, and not a holy roller. I'm not a religious person. I'm very spiritual, but I just always had this love of things that uplift the soul. Then, as I was getting older, I had different close calls
Hmm.
that I was delivered from. Shark attack,
Whoa.
being mugged,
Oh my
being followed not once but twice, being stalked by a man that I only dated a short amount of time. The list goes on. I was saved from a snowmobile accident. If I described the situation to you and you saw where the snowmobile landed and there was not a scratch on the snowmobile, there's so many things that have happened to me. And I said, there's something about this that I cannot ignore.
God. Hmm.
I was extremely grateful every single time I was delivered. But I said, I am being protected for a reason even deeper than going on another day. And I'm going to make it my mission. I'm
Hmm.
sorry I get emotional.
Hmm.
I'm going to make it my mission to tell the world about these amazing beings,
Hmm.
because I see so many people struggle and they just feel like they have no hope. And I want people to know that they have hope.
Hmm.
There is always hope. There is always help.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
I know
oh,
recently,
that's my mission.
um, you told me, because I had asked you of specific things that perhaps have happened, as you pray for other people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you had mentioned that all these things, these situations that were, most of them were medical or emotional or, dangerous situations as you pray for other people, that,
Yes.
they either didn't need a blood transfusion, or the surgery
Mm-hmm.
went better than ever expected.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
I've had people, they'll call me, they'll text me, they'll say I'm going in for dental surgery. I'm very scared. I have to go have a complete hysterectomy. I'm very nervous about that. Whatever it is, when I humbly invoke and pray that when their procedure occurs, that OR, that operating room, is flooded with light of the Christ consciousness, is flooded with the emerald healing light of Archangel Raphael.
Hmm. Hmm.
I even call in Hilarion and pull in the pink light.
Hmm.
I ask that 10,000 angels of creator be in that OR. People report no pain.
Hmm.
They don't need to take any pain medication after the fact.
Hmm. Hmm.
They don't need, as you said, blood transfusions. They heal so quickly. A number of them have said their doctor or dentist is like, "What are you doing?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
This is amazing."
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not the norm.
Yes.
So, and they'll tell me, I closed my eyes. When they knocked me out, all I saw was emerald light. So I love it when people tell me stuff like that. When they see
Yes.
green energy, they feel different. They
Yes.
have a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Yes. And I just want to interrupt for 1 second. And if anybody has any questions, you can either unmic yourself, keep your video off and unmic yourself and ask the question, or you can just type it into the chat box. While they're doing that, Carolyn, I had a question about the green light because
Okay.
someone has told me when an animal is passing, they send a tunnel of green light. Now, is that Archangel Raphael or is that something else? Or do you know about that?
I have not heard about that.
Okay.
I don't know if that is Archangel Ariel doing
Mm,
that. I would have to connect and meditate on that. If
yeah.
I don't know, um, I can't say, but that's certainly something I will look into and pray on and see what they reveal to me.
Hmm.
But animals definitely go to heaven, or
Yes.
whatever your concept of heaven is.
Yes.
Um, Everyone is here, and there's a huge concept of free will on this planet.
Yes.
Animals go to heaven. We have free will. We can cross over, or we don't.
Right. Right.
There are some souls, as you know, are roaming the planet. Woohoo! I
Yeah.
really like my house or my car. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
So, and then trouble happens with that, as we all know.
Yes.
My God, I was listening to a psychic medium the other night. She said she's dealing with souls that, roaming the planet. They'll connect with a pregnant woman and move the spirit of the baby
Yep.
out and
Yep.
inhabit that. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. There's all
that's a
kinds of
whole other.
things. And we actually we have her on this call. Our guest lecturer, Shana Robinson, is actually on this particular live call, this live coffee and tea that we're having right now. But talking about possessions and things. And I know someone else actually who was on the call texted me and was asking about situations that happened to her repeatedly during the month of August. So, there was like a string of situations, a string, and for a long time, but always within the month of August. So, and being an intuitive and teaching that whole aspect of the clairs, and being a very strong supporter of the concept of we are all connected energetically. I do believe that a lot of things such as that, our subconscious kind of energetically connects with, oh my goodness, this is the month of August, bad things will happen. So, on that specific subject such as that, what archangels would you, how do you know who to call upon for assistance? Do you just put it out, or do you specifically call a particular archangel to help in a particular situation?
I have that answer, but the first thing I want to ask that person is who that was close to you passed in August.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
did you just buy something you did not sage before you brought it into the house?
Mm-hmm.
Think on that. Now, anytime you are having issues with entities in your house, I call in the powerhouse, not to disrespect any other archangel, Archangel Michael.
Right. Right.
And I
Yeah.
call him in 3 times. Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, please help me. I need you, I need you, I need you. And then I tell him what I need.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask him to take care of whatever situation it is. I ask that his band of mercy come in
Mm-hmm.
and take care of the situation, and I thank them 3 times.
Can you talk
And
about the Band of Mercy? I don't know who that is.
the band of mercy are beings, and I'm learning more about them too. They are beings that are helping the planet. and helping souls here on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I consider them um, the Luftwaffe of the angelic realm.
Right, right, right,
So
right.
they are beings of the Christ consciousness who are helping on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And archangels can be in multiple places. People always
Yes.
say, "Oh, I don't want to bother them. They got other things to do." Excuse me, they're here to help you. Why should you struggle and suffer
Yeah,
and deal with that when you can have that situation taken care of?
yeah.
Always be humble, grateful, thankful, and the more you work with them, the more you will feel
Mm-hmm.
that they are there with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I,
And I
when you actually called him in 3 times, then I went, woof, okay, right here. It's like, hey, thank you.
thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
uh,
Oh.
I love that. I love when stuff like that happens. But that was always, a question that people would ask me is when you want to connect with the archangels, is
Mhm.
there a specific prayer? Is there, rituals or a ceremony? Is it, text me when you're free kind of thing, like what,
Aw.
how do you do that? And I think you explained it brilliantly. It's, the power of three, the 3 times the
Mhm.
call. That's like the
Mhm.
immediate connection. And I think I don't know. I just that totally does it. I mean, for me, it's I just connect. It's like I have this connection, this cable wire from my heart to their being, to their energy, and
Yes.
that's how I just feel it. I feel the
Yeah.
connection.
It's
And
such a gift.
it is. It's really wonderful because I think in all these different situations that we come across in life, there's depression and death, and and the world as it is very it's very not it's a dark place. A lot of
Mhm.
unfair things are happening, and I think people need
Mhm.
to know they are never alone. Like
Absolutely.
those angels, boy, and I know when I see you, because you're a tall lady and you're actually taller than me, and I'm a tall lady, but when I see you, your wings that you have sprouted are gigantic. They're
Thank
huge,
you.
you know,
Mhm.
and you go, whoa, that is the angel lady, and I'm just
Thank you.
honored to have you, teaching us about the angels, because I know someday you're going to have a big platform. There's going to be lots of people standing in line, to ask you
Mm.
a question or two or three or 100. So I am glad that,
Thank you.
that you've made this your mission and that, we are sharing that. Does anybody have any questions that they wanted to ask Carolyn? You can type that in the chat window. Everybody's good. Nobody wants to ask anything or share anything. If not, if you don't want to do it on the recording, we will stop the recording. And then, as usual, those that are on this call will have an opportunity to interact, and we'll have some chats with Carol. And, it's kind of like we're having tea. So, notice new teacup. So, um, is there anything else, Carolyn, that you would like to tell us? Perhaps talk about your Saturday class. How is that going to help us get closer to understanding Archangel Raphael? Can you talk a little bit about that before we go?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about who he is,
Mm-hmm.
different prayers, crystals, novenas. I'll show different medallions people can wear,
Okay.
prayer cards, things like that,
Okay.
experiences people have had, types of healings people have had.
Okay.
It just runs the gamut.
Okay.
How I see light when I send healing to people, I never send it from myself.
Right.
I learned that lesson. I send it down from the heavens,
Yeah.
and then how I clear myself.
Yeah.
Um, I'm constantly getting mention this, mention that.
Right.
So
Right. And so you'll
yeah.
be able to kind of help people and show them how they can also clear themselves, through Archangel Raphael?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, that is awesome.
Absolutely. I have some different prayers where I'm going to call in Raphael,
Yes.
but I'm also going to call in a team of archangels.
Ah, so
So,
so the question
you
that
know, when
just
I talk
popped up
about,
is, do the archangels ever work as a specialized team or teams? You just segued right into that.
uh, that's a very interesting question. I want to say yes. Everybody's got their own department, though.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I don't mean to be inappropriate
Yeah.
or disrespectful. Everybody's got their thing. Gabriel is communication,
Yes.
um, writing.
Mhm.
Um, Raphael is healing. Michael is protection. They all have things about each of them that they are very called upon for.
Yeah.
Um, you've got, so many archangels in different departments, and sometimes I'm like, I gotta whip something out and remind myself who has that department.
Yeah.
So, because people will say I'm trying to do this, oh, let me check that out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
usually I know. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, let me find just the right
Yeah.
one to
Yeah.
invoke for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That is so true. And I noticed you picked up the Doreen Virtue book. So
yes, I love her.
that's always been a good source for me. I know her ways have
Mhm.
changed and her perspectives have changed somewhat over the last few years, but I think just as a steadfast author who seemed to be connected for quite some time and put out
Mhm.
so many publications for us, that we could use as a good source. And
Mhm.
also, our friend Karen Paolino has put out very many books as well, and
She's
hopefully,
wonderful.
yeah, hopefully we'll, I'm sure she'll be happy to come on and have some coffee and tea and chat about angels with us as well. But in the meantime, this is a class if you are interested in kind of balancing out a few things in your life, perhaps. This is such a
Mhm.
good go-to class on Saturday with specifically with medical issues, with healing. I mean, to me, this is this is
Mhm.
this is what resonates the most with me. I just want to say one small thing before we sign off. Archangel Michael. So yes, strength and power. I do have Archangel Michael statues here. I have to get a Raphael statue. I don't have one, but I do have Archangel Michael. But he also is pretty talented with electronics. So I have a quick story. A while ago, when I was living in Longwood in the other town, and my computer totally fried, and I was in the middle of publishing something, and this was the deadline. I had to get it out that afternoon. And with all my heart, I begged Archangel Michael, if you can do anything electronically, please just let me get this article done. The computer went
Mhm.
on. I finished the article. The computer died. And that was it. And I go,
Wow.
oh my goodness, this stuff really, really, really works.
I love it.
So,
Good for you.
there was
Thank you,
one more
Michael.
question that popped up. The August issue, over the last 5 years that I can recall, I have been called upon to help animals and people in desperate situations. It is always draining with so many moving parts, and I manage to organize and facilitate to a positive outcome. My wonder is why it seems to be the month of August. That was the person that was asking about August. So if you think that's a long answer, we can just cut the recording and we can talk to her ourselves. Would you like to do that? And we can address
I'm
it.
I want to meditate on this.
Yeah.
This is because as I connect with source and
Yeah.
connect with these angelic beings, layers of knowledge are being disseminated to me.
Yeah.
Every day I'm getting something new, and I would really love to find out what it is it the infinity sign?
Mm-hmm.
I have to figure out what is the thing with August.
Yes. So
This will
why?
keep me up tonight.
So no, don't let me do that. I'm going to stop the recording. Everybody that's on
Okay.
this call, stay tuned. Carolyn, From my heart, thank you so very much for joining us on this recording. This recording will
Thank
be
you.
available on our YouTube channel. And I hope to see everybody over on our Archangel series classes that we begin. Again, thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, everybody.